Let's bring in Toolsy now. And let's open the floodgates, Toolsy. David in Winnipeg has a question for you. How's it going, Dan? How's life?
Life's great. First off, Rod, thanks for having me on. Secondly, whose boat was that? I want to know if that was your boat or a friend's boat.
Not mine.
As for me, life is good. I get to do the greatest commute to work in the history of the world, which is, well, you probably have the same commute. It's about 5 steps down the stairs. So it's a lot of time with my kids. I get to be a very present dad, and I get to do something I love, and that's just talk about whatever the hell I want and whatever is a thorn in my side. Because, I'm a 48-year-old man, so I'm getting that sitting on a porch yelling at the people annoying me stage of my life.
It's an interesting spot, isn't it? I'm there too, bro. At 50, How do you feel about this stage of yelling at the clouds? I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I like it. So I always thought, okay, when I got to 48, I'm going to be like hunched over with a cane. I still act like I'm a 12-year-old, so I like that part of it. I haven't got the real aches and pains, except if I crouch down for longer than 30 seconds, it's a pain standing up. But the annoyances in life have really gotten to me, and I've got to find a place where I need to get zen. Like if someone's holding me up in line, if someone's holding me up while getting onto an airplane. Right, here's my philosophy in life. Never in my life do I hold anyone up in a checkout line, in an ATM line, in a line to get food at a movie theater. I have form of payment ready. I know my order. I never hold anyone up. I've got my overhead bag. It's ready to go in. I look behind me. If someone needs to get by me, I let them by. I don't know. Call me crazy, but my goal in life is to never hold anyone up. And that's my goal in life. That's my old age syndrome right there, that I spend that much time thinking about that.
Yeah, I hope we didn't keep you waiting too long to get on the air here today. John in Winnipeg says, Dan, you're looking like a rock star. Where's the guitar, dude? I think we'd all like to know what's the inspiration for the flow.
Okay, so I'm now at the Buck Martinez wave of the hair stage. So I'm reached that level. So it's a very easy to figure out why I did this. I've had the same haircut since I was 2. And I always had to have the same haircut when I was in TV because you have to be consistent. It has to always look the same. Now I work from home. I shoot the odd commercial. My employer said, yeah, do whatever you want with your hair. So I just decided to grow it out. I've been growing it since February. And it's a magical ride down a road I've never been down. I play with my hair a lot. It takes a lot longer in the shower now because it's longer. So I'm at the stage where I don't know what to do next. But I think I should have gone as Buck Martinez for Halloween, now that I think of it.
How about that?
That's a great one. Next year. There's always next year. Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in and says, Dan, that's called treating others like you'd like to be treated. And which is a wonderful golden rule. Yeah.
Rod, I end every Boomsies episode and I say, be nice. It doesn't cost you anything. It's simple. Life is as simple as that. If you boil it down to what life's all about, don't hold people up and just be nice.
2 people from Winnipeg have the same question, so I'm going to throw it to you, and then I'm going to ask you about the podcast taping in Regina where Cody Fajardo brought a pizza out onto the stage, because I was there, and I love Cody as we head into the semifinal weekend. I want you to, yeah, you remember it now. I can tell by the look in your face. But John in Winnipeg and David in Winnipeg both want to know, what was your biggest takeaway from your time in the United States?
Biggest takeaway was working with world-class broadcasters and being treated like a rock star. Fox treated us so well, and people say, well, how did they treat you? And I always put it this way. I'm like, Jay and I would show up in shorts and flip-flops because we're living close to the beach, and we would walk into our own dressing rooms. our suit would be hung up on the wall, freshly pressed, with the tie picked out to go with the shirt. The socks were already picked out. The shoes were shined. The belt was this was the clincher. The belt was already in the pants. So you kind of felt like Superman. You're
Wow.
like, could they make it even easier? Could they just drop me into the suit? But they wanted you to focus on your job so much that they didn't want you to have to worry about anything else. And there was always food. There was always people like Frank Thomas walking down the hallways. Gabe Kapler was always there. You had Gary Payton. You had Donovan McNabb. You had Andy Roddick. I'm like, it just became a common occurrence to see these massive sports stars because you worked with them day in and day out. Also, the weather is great when you live in LA. And people always said, did you miss the seasons? And when you're living in it, you say, no, I didn't miss the seasons. But now, Rod, as a true Canadian, I'm back in the thick of it. So when you have a day like today, November 1st, and it's like 6 degrees and sunny, there's that Christmas to the air, you appreciate it. You don't get it lost in the shuffle like every 75-degree day in LA. It gets monotonous. Here, you learn to appreciate those little glimpses of perfection in the weather. So I dove back into being Canadian. I cherish our winter months until it becomes unbearable in February. And I say, like every Canadian, why the hell do we live here?
Wonderful answer. 28 degrees Celsius, a mild breeze here in Boca Raton, Florida. So can you please appreciate the weather there for me? Can you do it for both of us, Dan? And Arlen Bruce,
I hope you would do
III,
the same for me.
writes in. Exactly. Arlen Bruce III writes in. He says, great morning, RP. When I was with the Argonauts, Dan and Jay did an event I was at in a small town, and they were so exciting to listen to. Yes, you're seeing he's very exciting to listen to now. So we have a couple minutes. Cody Fajardo brought a pizza out on stage at the Center of the Arts in Regina. I was in the crowd. What's the ABBA song? Fajardo. What's the real song called?
Oh, now you're putting, because Jay came up with that.
Fernando Clark says, yes. Fernando. God, I loved that night. I hope you loved it as much as we
that
did
was
in
a
the crowd.
great night. We had a blast. It was a very interesting venue because I guess there's a massive theater there. We're like, oh, we're in that one. They're like, nah, there's a band playing in that. Come with us. And they led us to the basement where Jay is a very tall human. And Jay, his head was close to touching the ceiling. And I'm like, oh, man, whenever I'm in a venue like that, I'm like, okay, where are the exits? Because we might have to make a quick exit if there's a fire. Luckily, there wasn't. There was just pizza. Because Cody agreed. I don't know how we got him because it was, I don't know if he was training or something, but he immediately agreed to it. And we said, can you deliver pizza? Because I think the place will go nuts. We underestimated the love for the riders in that room because it was like Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, and Travis Kelce all came in at the same time. Actually, Cody Fajardo probably got a better response than those three would have got combined when he came onto that stage. So it was a epic, memorable night on our little podcast tour.
Yeah. Oh, and they weren't just cheering for him. They were cheering for you too as well. But you'll know then that there's a big segment of that province cheering for Cody and the Alouettes this Saturday for Montreal. We are out of time, but can you please, Dan, tell our audience where they can catch your stuff because it's so good.
You just go to Spotify, iTunes, wherever you. Does anyone still use iTunes? Quickly, I still have iTunes songs that I paid for in my library, and I tell my kids every time I play one, I'm like, I paid $1.29 for this song. So just search for Boomsies. Boomsies. It's easy to remember and use it every day in life. You have a big date. Boomsies. You're getting done work early. Boomsies. It's the weekend. That's a Boomsies. Rod, you're the best. Thanks, buddy.
Perfect. You are, man. Learned it from you. Thank you for the time. Keep rocking in the free world.
It's out.
There you go. Peace out. The great Dan O'Toole checking in from Boomsies. He looks younger. How did he get younger?